Illinois Real Estate License Test Questions. Question 1. During a first substantial discussion, Jamie asks Harper whether the brokerage represents the buyer, the seller, or both. Why should the relationship be clarified early? Option A. Agency and brokerage relationships affect duties, confidentiality, and the consumer's expectations. Option B. The relationship is irrelevant until after closing. Option C. A broker owes no duties until a deed is recorded. Option D. Agency disclosure is needed only for commercial leases. The correct answer is option A. Agency and brokerage relationships affect duties, confidentiality, and the consumer's expectations. Brokerage relationships determine duties such as disclosure, confidentiality, obedience to lawful instructions, and care. Waiting until closing, tying duties only to deed recording, or limiting disclosure concepts to commercial leases would leave the consumer without important relationship information. Question 2. Jamie signs closing documents for an absent seller under a power of attorney. Which issue is most important? Option A. A power of attorney automatically makes the signer the owner. Option B. The authority must be valid and broad enough for the act being performed. Option C. No written authority is ever needed. Option D. The broker may create authority by verbal approval alone. The correct answer is option B. The authority must be valid and broad enough for the act being performed. A power of attorney gives authority only if it is valid and covers the act being performed. It does not transfer ownership to the signer by itself, and verbal approval alone is not a safe substitute for proper written authority. Question 3. A seller receives $364,000 at closing, pays off a $76,000 mortgage, and pays $7,700 in seller closing costs. What are the approximate net proceeds during Logan's Belleville Suburban Ranch home file review? Option A. $288,000. Option B. $356,300. Option C. $280,300. Option D. $83,700. The correct answer is option C. $280,300. Seller net proceeds subtract the loan payoff and seller costs from the sale price. $364,000 minus $76,000 minus $7,700 equals $280,300. The other answers omit one deduction or add deductions instead of subtracting them from the sale price. Stressed about your Illinois real estate exam? We can take Illinois real estate exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. A buyer asks about neighbors dislike a former occupant, but there is no physical defect or legal restriction affecting the property. Why may this be treated differently from a material defect during Kendall's Chicago commercial suite file review? Option A. Every rumor must be included in the deed. Option B. The broker must create a structural inspection report. Option C. The seller must lower the price by statute. Option D. Stigmatizing facts usually do not have the same disclosure treatment as physical or legal defects. The correct answer is option D. Stigmatizing facts usually do not have the same disclosure treatment as physical or legal defects. Stigmatized minus property issues generally differ from material physical defects or title/legal problems. Rumors do not belong in a deed, brokers do not create structural inspection reports, and statutes do not automatically set a required price reduction for a stigma. Question 5. A buyer and seller dispute whether a built-minus in dishwasher stays with the property. Which test is most relevant? Option A. Whether the item has become a fixture based on attachment, adaptation, agreement, and intent. Option B. Whether the buyer likes the item. Option C. Whether the item is expensive enough. Option D. Whether the broker wants it included. The correct answer is option A. Whether the item has become a fixture based on attachment, adaptation, agreement, and intent. Fixture analysis looks at factors such as attachment, adaptation, agreement, and intent. Personal preference, price alone, or the broker's preference does not determine whether the item stays with the real estate. Question 6. A small rental property has annual net operating income of $37,000 and an indicated capitalization rate of 8%. What value is suggested by the income approach during Jamie's Peoria single-family home file review? Option A, $296,000. Option B, $462,500. Option C, $4,625. Option D, $231,250. The correct answer is option B, $462,500. The income approach using direct capitalization divides NOI by the capitalization rate. $37,000 divided by 8% equals about $462,500. The other answers multiply by the rate, treat the percent as a whole number, or cut the indicated value in half. Question 7. A buyer is reviewing required environmental paperwork involving mine subsidence information. Why are these disclosures commonly tested? Option A. They guarantee the property has no environmental condition. Option B. They replace the purchase contract entirely. Option C. They help buyers evaluate known or potential environmental risks before becoming bound to the transaction. Option D. They require the broker to perform engineering tests in every sale. The correct answer is option C. They help buyers evaluate known or potential environmental risks before becoming bound to the transaction. Environmental disclosure laws are designed to inform buyers about known or potential risks before or during the contracting process. They do not guarantee a problem-free property, replace the contract, or require brokers to perform technical engineering tests in every transaction. Question 8. A buyer reviews debits, credits, lender charges, preparations, and cash needed to close. Which document function is being tested during Jordan's Rockford condominium unit file review? Option A. A zoning map amendment. Option B. A subdivision plat approval. Option C. A deed covenant creating a life estate. Option D. Settlement or closing statement accounting. The correct answer is option D. Settlement or closing statement accounting. Closing statements organize transaction charges, credits, preparations, and cash to close. Zoning approvals, plats, and deed covenants do not perform the same accounting function. Are you looking for Illinois real estate exam actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access Illinois real estate exam study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get Illinois real estate exam answer key today. Question 9. A property is worth $331,000 and has a loan balance of $117,000. Approximately how much equity does the owner have during Casey's Bloomington townhome file review? Option A, $214,000. Option B, $448,000. Option C, $117,000. Option D, $264,800. The correct answer is option A, $214,000. Equity is the property's value minus debt secured by the property, so $331,000 minus $117,000 equals $214,000. The distractors add debt, report the loan balance, or use an unsupported percentage of value. Question 10. Parker and Reese both claim the same earnest money after a failed Illinois purchase contract. How should the broker view disbursement? Option A. The broker may give the money to the latter party. Option B. The broker should follow the contract, written instructions, or lawful dispute minus resolution process before releasing funds. Option C. The broker must always keep the money as commission. Option D. The buyer automatically receives the money regardless of contract terms. The correct answer is option B. The broker should follow the contract, written instructions, or lawful dispute minus resolution process before releasing funds. Earnest money disputes require careful handling under the contract and applicable escrow rules. A broker cannot choose based on pressure, convert the money into commission without entitlement, or ignore the party's contract rights. Question 11. A consumer asks why a state real estate recovery fund might exist. Which purpose is closest during Taylor's Joliet mixed-use storefront file review? Option A, guaranteeing every buyer a profit on resale. Option B, paying all ordinary home repairs after closing. Option C, providing a limited source of recovery for certain losses caused by licensee misconduct when statutory requirements are met. Option D, replacing the need for broker licensing. The correct answer is option C, providing a limited source of recovery for certain losses caused by licensee misconduct when statutory requirements are met. Recovery funds are designed as limited consumer protection remedies for qualifying misconduct related losses. They do not guarantee investment profit, pay routine repairs, or replace licensing and discipline systems. Question 12. A buyer purchases for $185,000, makes a 15% down payment, and has $3,600 in closing costs. About how much cash is needed at closing before credits? Option A, $27,750. Option B, $3,600. Option C, $181,400. Option D, $31,350. The correct answer is option D, $31,350. Cash needed combines the down payment and closing costs, 15% of $185,000 plus $3,600 equals $31,350. The other choices omit either the costs or the down payment, or subtract costs from the price incorrectly. Question 13. An unlicensed assistant named Sydney is asked to explain offer terms to a buyer at an open house. Why is that risky? Option A, explaining or negotiating transaction terms can cross into licensed activity. Option B, unlicensed assistants may perform every brokerage task if unpaid. Option C, only title companies need real estate licenses. Option D, licensed supervision converts negotiation into clerical work. The correct answer is option A, explaining or negotiating transaction terms can cross into licensed activity. Unlicensed assistants may perform clerical or administrative tasks, but explaining terms, negotiating, or advising consumers may require a license. Being unpaid, supervised, or involved with a title company does not transform licensed brokerage functions into purely clerical work. Question 14. A buyer pays for the right, but not the obligation, to purchase a property at a set price during a stated period. Which agreement is described during Cameron's Oak Park Lakefront Cottage file review? Option A, open listing only. Option B, option agreement. Option C, tax deed. Option D, subordination agreement. The correct answer is option B, option agreement. An option gives the holder the right to buy under stated terms without requiring the holder to exercise it. An open listing is a brokerage agreement, a tax deed relates to tax enforcement, and subordination changes lien priority. Question 15. A rental property has NOI of $27,000 and a value estimate of $330,000. Approximately what capitalization rate is indicated during Drew's Decatur Suburban Ranch Home File Review? Option A, 4.1%. Option B, 11.2%. Option C, 8.2%. Option D, 12.2%. The correct answer is option C, 8.2%. The capitalization rate is NOI divided by value, so $27,000 divided by $330,000 is about 8.2%. The other answers have the rate, add unsupported points, or invert the formula. Question 16. Cameron signs an exclusive brokerage agreement and expects the broker to present offers and assist with negotiations. Which Illinois topic does this resemble? Option A, a deed restriction created by neighbors. Option B, a mortgage acceleration clause. Option C, a tax appeal before the assessor. Option D, a minimum services and duties under brokerage agreements. The correct answer is option D, minimum services and duties under brokerage agreements. Illinois state-specific outlines test brokerage agreements, exclusive agreements, and minimum services. Deed restrictions, mortgage acceleration, and tax appeals involve different legal concepts rather than brokerage minus service duties. Question 17. An ad states only a very low monthly payment without giving required credit terms or context. Which lending minus advertising law is often implicated during Parker's normal farm parcel file review? Option A, Truth in Lending Act and Regulation Z. Option B, Rule Against Perpetuities. Option C, Fair Credit Reporting Act only. Option D, Illinois Plat Act only. The correct answer is option A, Truth in Lending Act and Regulation Z. Regulation Z under the Truth in Lending Act governs many consumer credit advertising disclosures. The Rule Against Perpetuities and Plat laws do not govern loan advertising, and the FCRA focuses on consumer reports rather than payment minus ed trigger terms. Question 18. A managing broker supervising tailor discovers repeated advertising and trust minus account mistakes. Which responsibility is most directly involved? Option A, recording deeds for every buyer. Option B, supervision of sponsored licensees and brokerage compliance systems. Option C, issuing building permits. Option D, approving zoning variances. The correct answer is option B, supervision of sponsored licensees and brokerage compliance systems. Managing and sponsoring brokers are responsible for supervision, training, and compliance controls for sponsored licensees. Recording deeds, issuing permits, and approving zoning variances are handled by other parties or government offices.
Stressed about your non-medical assistant exam? We can take non-medical assistant exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 19. A seller receives an offer of $275,000 and responds with $278,000 plus a changed closing date. How should the seller's response be classified? Option A, a full acceptance of the buyer's original offer. Option B, a deed transferring title immediately. Option C, a counteroffer that rejects the original offer and proposes new terms. Option D, a lease option created by operation of law. The correct answer is option C, a counteroffer that rejects the original offer and proposes new terms. Changing material terms such as price or closing date creates a counteroffer rather than an acceptance. It does not transfer title, and it does not create a lease option unless the parties separately agree to those terms. Question 20. A brokerage wants to operate a virtual office location for Illinois consumers. Which compliance focus best fits the licensing outlined during Blair's Moline condominium unit file review? Option A, avoiding all broker supervision because the office is online. Option B, replacing written brokerage agreements with website clicks only. Option C, advertising as an unlicensed technology company. Option D, registration, supervision, and public minus facing brokerage compliance for virtual or branch operations. The correct answer is option D, registration, supervision, and public minus facing brokerage compliance for virtual or branch operations. Virtual or branch operations still require appropriate brokerage supervision and compliance with licensing rules. Being online does not remove supervision, written minus agreement, licensing, or advertising requirements. Question 21. Several liens are discovered before closing, including a recorded mortgage, unpaid property taxes, and a later judgment lien. Why is lien priority important during Quinn's Quincy Townhome file review? Option A, priority determines the order in which claims may be paid from the property's value. Option B, priority decides who may advertise the property. Option C, priority cancels the need for title insurance. Option D, priority makes every lien disappear at listing. The correct answer is option A. Priority determines the order in which claims may be paid from the property's value. Lien priority affects the order of payment when property is sold or foreclosed. It does not control advertising rights, eliminate title insurance analysis, or erase liens merely because a property is listed. Question 22. A licensee knowingly misrepresents a material fact to induce a buyer to sign. Which licensing consequence is most relevant during Sydney's Waukegan small apartment building file review? Option A, automatic zoning approval. Option B, disciplinary action for unprofessional or dishonest conduct. Option C, a mandatory title insurance payout. Option D, a tax prioration credit only. The correct answer is option B, disciplinary action for unprofessional or dishonest conduct. Knowing misrepresentation can trigger discipline because it harms consumers and violates professional standards. Zoning approval, title insurance payout, and tax prioration are unrelated remedies for this licensing misconduct. Question 23. A landlord refuses to consider an applicant because of disability. What fair housing concept is most directly involved during Logan's Belleville mixed-use storefront file review? Option A, a lawful appraisal adjustment. Option B, a title-priority decision. Option C, discrimination based on a protected class in housing transactions. Option D, a contract contingency automatically required by lenders. The correct answer is option C, discrimination based on a protected class in housing transactions. Fair housing laws prohibit discrimination in housing based on protected classes. The situation is not an appraisal adjustment, title priority issue, or lender-required contract contingency. Question 24. A candidate is planning the broker exam schedule and wants to understand the Illinois-specific portion. How is the state portion commonly structured in the current SCI bulletin during Kendall's Chicago vacant lot file review? Option A, 100 questions with 150 minutes allowed and a 70% passing score. Option B, 50 questions with 120 minutes allowed and a 74% passing score. Option C, 90 questions with 150 minutes allowed and a 75% passing score. Option D, 40 questions with 90 minutes allowed and a 75% passing score. The correct answer is option D, 40 questions with 90 minutes allowed and a 75% passing score. The Illinois broker exam has a separate state portion listed as 40 scored points, 90 minutes, and a 75% passing score. The 100- question 150- minute format describes the national broker portion. The 50- question 120- minute option reflects residential leasing, and the 90- question format applies to a different examination category. Question 25. Two firms agree that one will serve buyers only in Springfield while the other will avoid that area and focus on Peoria. Which antitrust concept best fits? Option A, a market allocation. Option B, valid escalation clause. Option C, a leasehold estate. Option D, statutory redemption period. The correct answer is option A, market allocation. Competitors who divide territories or customers can create an unlawful market allocation scheme. Escalation clauses are contract tools, leasehold estates are possessory interests, and redemption periods relate to foreclosure law.